Highways at night are eerie enough. The endless dark, the hum of tires, and the occasional distant lights from a truck passing by. But for some people, that night drive became their final journey. No accidents, no witnesses, just an empty car, and a story that ends with silence. Case 1. Emma Lawson, the broken headlight incident, Utah, 2002. It was 1:17 a.m. when Emma Lawson's voice came through the static. "It's pitch black out here, my headlight's out. I can barely see the road," she said, sounding more confused than scared. Emma, 26, had just finished a late shift as a server at a ski lodge near Park City, Utah. She was heading home through the Wasatch Mountains, roads she had driven dozens of times. Twisting, high-altitude roads flanked by trees and cliffs. She knew them well. But something felt different that night. Her boyfriend, Kyle, tried calling her back minutes later. No answer. He figured she was in a dead zone. But when morning came and she hadn't returned, concern turned to dread. By noon, she was reported missing. 3 days later, search crews spotted her car, abandoned on a narrow, unmarked mountain pass, miles from any main road. The front driver's side door was open. The keys were still in the ignition. Her purse sat untouched in the passenger seat. There were no signs of a struggle, no blood, no broken glass, no footprints in the snow-covered ground. But the strangest part, when officers inspected the vehicle, they found both headlights working perfectly. No damage, no electrical failure, nothing to explain the problem Emma had mentioned on the phone. Locals were quick to chime in with old stories. That stretch of mountain road, known as Echo Pass, had a reputation. Strange lights, engine stalls, people who claimed to lose time. Hikers getting turned around and emerging miles from where they entered. Few locals even called it a thin place. Somewhere the boundary between this world and another wears thin. But Emma wasn't the kind of person who believed in that sort of thing. She was rational, skeptical. A psychology major who once laughed at a co-worker for bringing sage to clear bad energy from her locker. Investigators combed through her phone records, searched miles of rugged terrain, even brought in cadaver dogs. Nothing. No scent. No trail. It was as if she had stepped out of the car and simply ceased to exist. Kyle later shared that Emma had seemed off in the days leading up to her disappearance. Distant, distracted. She had told him she kept waking up from the same dream. Standing on a dark road, headlight flickering, unable to move. She brushed it off, but now he can't forget it. No suspects, no evidence, no body. Just a car, left on a mountain road in the dead of night, and a working headlight that was never broken. To this day, the official report lists her as a missing person. But in the small communities around Echo Pass, people still say the same thing. If your lights go out on that road, don't stop. And they say her name in hushed voices like a warning. Emma Lawson vanished into the dark and no one ever saw her again. Case 2, Julian Reese, GPS error or something worse. Arkansas, 2017. Julian Reese was a 33-year-old Uber driver known for his reliability and quiet nature. On the night of August 4th, 2017, he accepted one final ride before heading home. It was a standard pickup outside a bar in Fayetteville, Arkansas, routine for a Friday night. His passenger, a young man in a hoodie, reportedly got in without saying much. Security footage confirmed the ride, but what happened after has never been explained. According to Uber's internal data, Julian dropped the passenger off around 11:49 p.m., the drop-off point. A remote service road deep in the Ozarks near Devil's Den State Park. No homes, no streetlights, just dense forest and gravel roads that twist for miles. No Uber passenger should have requested that destination. But the data shows it clear as day. Julian never accepted another ride. never returned home. He was reported missing by his sister, Amanda, the next morning after he didn't answer her texts or calls. But what truly unsettled her was the last message she did receive from him, sent just after midnight. It was a photo of the moon, low, orange and full, hanging over a black tree line, accompanied by one chilling sentence: "There's no one out here. It feels off, like I'm not supposed to be here." She replied instantly, asking if he was okay. He never responded. 2 days later, Julian's 2008 Honda Civic was located by a park ranger doing rounds near a gated forest path that hadn't been used in years. The car was parked neatly, locked, undamaged. No signs of a crash, struggle, or forced entry. His wallet was inside, his phone was still mounted on the dash, and the GPS was active, frozen on a destination: 94 Wrenwood Lane. Police immediately tried to trace it, but there's no Wrenwood Lane in that county. No such address has ever existed in Arkansas. In fact, the street didn't exist on any state database, old maps, postal service records, or Google Earth imagery, and it never appeared again on the GPS. Julian's phone had one outgoing call, attempt at 12:04 a.m., directed to Amanda, but the call dropped after 2 seconds. The GPS logs also showed something even stranger, a 30-minute stretch of driving with no data at all, as if he had entered a dead zone, or as if the device had simply ceased recording. Investigators combed the forest for weeks. Drones, dogs, heat sensors, nothing. No footprints, no body. The forest was silent. Speculation ran wild. Some claimed he was lured there. Others believed he found something, or something found him. The phantom address led many to believe the GPS had glitched or been hacked. But Uber and Google representatives reviewed the data and confirmed no malfunction, no breach. Julian's sister, Amanda, believes he knew something was wrong. "He had this sixth sense," she said. "He didn't scare easily. But that message, that moon photo, he knew he wasn't alone out there, even if he couldn't see it yet." Internet sleuths jumped on the mystery. Some claimed to have found other GPS anomalies in the area. Others mentioned similar disappearances dating back decades, all near the same stretch of forest roads. One local Reddit thread refers to that part of the Ozarks as the Dead Loop, a place where devices glitch and people sometimes just stop existing. Today, Julian Reese's case remains unsolved. No further evidence has surfaced. No new leads. Just a locked car, a digital ghost of an address that doesn't exist, and a final text beneath a moonlit sky. "It feels off, like I'm not supposed to be here." And maybe he wasn't. Case 3, Natalie Greer, The Silent Detour, Ohio, 1993. On the night of February 12, 1993, 19-year-old Natalie Greer left campus for a routine drive home. It was a trip she had made dozens of times. I-70 east from Columbus to her family's house in Springfield, Ohio. Just under an hour on the highway. Nothing unusual. Around 9:38 p.m., she stopped at a gas station off exit 122. Surveillance footage shows her smiling, chatting briefly with the clerk, buying a soda and some chips. She walked out, unlocked her car, and drove away. That was the last confirmed sighting of Natalie Greer. When she didn't show up by midnight, her parents became concerned. By the following morning, they contacted Highway Patrol. A missing person report was filed. But with no signs of foul play, no one expected what would come next. 4 days later, a road maintenance worker found Natalie's 1987 red Honda Accord parked near a frozen creek off County Road 513, a remote area surrounded by woods and farmland. The location was nearly 20 miles south of her expected route. The car was still in working condition, no flat tires, no signs of a crash or forced entry. The driver's side door was closed, keys still in the ignition, but the passenger door stood wide open, letting in the frigid February air. Inside, Natalie's coat lay on the back seat along with her purse. Nothing had been stolen. There were no footprints in the snow, neither leading away from the car nor toward it. It was as if she had stepped out and vanished into thin air. But what truly baffled investigators was what they found on the passenger seat: a folded paper map, creased down the middle, with a single hand-drawn red X marked deep within the Wayne National Forest, about 40 minutes further south. There were no street names, no notes, just the X. There were no fingerprints on the map, not even Natalie's. Her parents were adamant. Natalie never used maps, her mother said. She didn't like them. She always used the same route. She even called once saying she hated paper maps because they made her feel lost. A search was launched in the area near the marked X. Hundreds of volunteers, dogs, helicopters, but no sign of Natalie, no clothing, no trace, no scent. It was as if the forest had swallowed her whole. Theories started to swirl. Some believed she was lured there, that someone at the gas station followed her or planted the map. But the security footage showed no suspicious individuals. Others claimed it was a wrong turn, an accident. But her detour wasn't accidental. According to her car's odometer, Natalie intentionally drove south, staying on small back roads, never once returning to the interstate. Local legend didn't help either. Residents near County Road 5113 told stories of an old trail near the creek, long since overgrown, that used to lead into the forest back when people believed in burial trees and strange rituals passed down from settler folklore. The area had a reputation, but no one had seen anything truly unusual in years. Until now. To this day, no forensic evidence has ever been recovered. No DNA, no signs of struggle, no indication that anyone else was in the car. Just a single red X on an unmarked map, and one open door, facing the woods. In the decades since, Natalie's case has become something of a quiet obsession in Ohio true crime circles. Some say she ran away, but there was no reason. She had no history of depression, no drama at school, and had plans with her mother that weekend. Others believe she was abducted by someone who knew those roads. A few, though, whisper something else. That the red X wasn't meant as a destination. It was a warning. Case 4, Tomas Rivera, the man who never made the turn, New Mexico, 1988. Tomas Rivera had been driving trucks for over 20 years. Reliable, disciplined, and never late. He knew the highways of the American Southwest better than most locals, especially the long, empty stretches of New Mexico. That's why what happened to him on July 14, 1988, remains so haunting and so unexplained. At exactly 1:03 a.m., Tomas radioed his dispatcher from somewhere near mile marker 219 on Interstate 40. "Just passing 219 now," he said. "Should be at the Gallup stop in 20. His voice was calm, routine, nothing unusual. But Tomas never arrived. By sunrise, his company flagged him as overdue. He hadn't checked in. No arrival, no call. A search began. They expected to find him pulled over or delayed by engine trouble. What they found instead raised more questions than answers. Tomas's 18-wheeler was discovered parked neatly beside a crumbling, long-abandoned diner just off exit 217, 2 exits before his intended stop. The truck was shut off. Doors locked. No damage. Nothing stolen. Inside the cab, everything was in place. Keys on the dash, logbook open, Tomas's coffee still warm. But Tomas himself was nowhere to be found. Authorities scoured the area. There were no signs of struggle, no broken glass, no drag marks. Dogs picked up no trail. The ground was mostly dirt and gravel, easy to disturb, yet it looked untouched, as if no one had exited the vehicle at all. The only unusual detail came from his logbook. Beneath his final entry, 1:03 a.m., passing 219, were a series of jagged, rushed scribbles that didn't follow the format. The handwriting matched Tomas's, but it was shaky, uneven, as if written in a panic. The words were disturbing. Don't stop. Don't open the door. Don't look at it. Investigators couldn't make sense of it. What had he seen? Was he hallucinating? Did someone try to enter the cab? But if so, where were the signs? The locks weren't forced. There was no blood, no indication of anyone else at the scene. The abandoned diner, nicknamed Red Moon Cafe, hadn't served a customer in over 15 years. Locals avoided it, said it was cursed or haunted or both. Overgrown weeds crept through the broken asphalt. The neon sign still hung, but only one letter flickered faintly at night, an R. Everything else was dead. Still, nothing about the diner explained Tomas's disappearance. No surveillance cameras, no recent break-ins, no squatters, just silence and desert wind. For years, the case remained cold. Then, in 2006, a retired state trooper named Grant Holloway came forward with a confession during a podcast interview. He had been one of the first officers on the scene back in 1988. He said, "That place, it didn't feel empty. It didn't feel abandoned. It felt watched. Like the second I stepped out of the cruiser, someone or something was looking right at me. But there was nothing, just heat and quiet and that dead neon sign. No new evidence has ever surfaced, no trace of Tomas, no further logs. His family held a memorial service a year." Case 5, Kira Monroe, The Highway That Doesn't Exist, Nevada, 2015. Kira Monroe was a 29-year-old photographer and solo traveler. Her passion project? A personal photo series called Forgotten Roads of America. She spent months driving across the country, capturing desolate highways, crumbling signs and ghost towns long abandoned. She'd upload her work to a modest blog where a small but loyal following tracked her eerie, beautiful discoveries. In July of 2015, she left Tonopah, Nevada, heading toward Ely on US Route 6, planning to shoot a stretch of the infamous Route 50, known as America's Loneliest Road. Her last known communication was a short voice message to a friend. "No signal for a while, but I'm good. Hoping to get some really empty stuff today." Then, nothing. 2 days later, her silver Subaru Outback was found abandoned on the side of Route 50. The car was locked. There was no damage. Inside, everything was intact, except her camera gear. The dashboard GoPro was missing. So was her primary DSLR. Her phone was on the front seat, battery dead. But in the glove compartment, officers found something that stopped them cold. A single Polaroid photo showing Kira standing next to a green road sign that read, "Welcome to Route 93A." She looked happy, relaxed, her camera slung over her shoulder. But that sign, Route 93A, does not exist. Not in Nevada, not anywhere. Investigators double-checked every map, old and new. There had never been a highway by that name. No locals had heard of it. It wasn't on Kira's GPS history either. In fact, according to Google's offline cache, her GPS froze shortly after she left Tonopah, then resumed 36 hours later near the point where her car was found. The few fragments of recovered data from her phone were chilling. A time-stamped audio file, clearly recorded on her GoPro, featured her voice. In it, she sounded uneasy. "I've been driving for hours. There's no signs, no cars. I should have hit Ely by now, but I think I'm going in circles, or maybe not moving at all." She pauses. There's a long silence then. The road doesn't feel right. It's like it just keeps stretching. That was the final recording. Specialists were brought in to analyze the photo. They confirmed it was genuine. No digital manipulation. The shadows, timestamp, and background were all consistent with Nevada terrain. but no one could find the exact location. Some theorized Kira may have encountered an unmarked detour or an old service road, but the search turned up no such path. Others believed the photo was a prank. But who took it? Why return the car without a trace? And why remove all her photography gear except for one Polaroid? Then came a strange call. A trucker named Waylon Price contacted authorities after hearing about Kira's case on the radio. He claimed that around that time, he saw a lone car driving the opposite direction late at night, on a road he didn't recognize. It had this green sign I'd never seen before, said 93A. Thought I was going crazy. He tried to turn around, but the road behind him had vanished. He later dismissed it as a dream until he heard her name. To this day, no confirmed sightings of Kira have ever surfaced. No body, no camera, just the eerie photo, her calm smile next to a road no one else has found, and the haunting feeling that she crossed into something that wasn't meant to exist. Some say she drove off the grid. Others believe she discovered something she wasn't supposed to document. But her blog, still live to this day, has one final caption, posted automatically by her scheduled queue 2 days after she vanished. It reads, "Some roads aren't forgotten, they're hidden for a reason. They were all alone. Just a car, a road, and the unknown." Some say the night hides things we're not meant to see. Others believe these people crossed into something that was never meant to be found. Which case left you thinking the most? Let us know in the comments, and if you enjoy true stories that blur the line between reality and nightmare, make sure to subscribe. Because on Vanished Files, the next road might be one you've already taken. And remember, if your GPS ever takes you somewhere unfamiliar, don't stop, don't open the door, don't look at it.